My name's Chris Matz. I'm the site manager for South and West Wales for the Woodland Trust. So this is Brynau Farm. It's a site we acquired in late 2019. It's been extended a couple of times and it's around about 700 acres on the southwestern flanks of the Vale of Neath in South Wales. So Brynau Farm has recently received FSC verified impact certification. And here we've been doing a lot of work around soils and water in particular. And that takes the shape and form of woodland creation, looking at catchment woodlands particularly, where we can intercept overland flows and look at percolation effects that happen through tree planting, as in water being stored in soils. Also looked at how some of the streams and water channels, ditches, etc. on the site have been modified over the last few hundred years, and how we can use natural processes to mitigate some of those effects of climate change, in particular how water tables rise quite quickly within the catchment, and there's a risk to flooding of around about 450 houses in the town of Neath below. So these are our herd of Welsh whites. They're part of the ancient cattle here in Wales. This is a breed that dates back to the 10th century, and they are our conservation grazies on the site. And their main purpose is to assist us in rewooding this landscape, and they'll also help with the ecological functionality of the landscape as well, by helping to diversify the structure and the complexity within the woodland itself. Between years 10 and years 20 they'll be introduced to the new woodland planted areas, and they'll help to diversify and restructure some of that new woodland that's created on the site. NFM is one of those acronyms, and it basically means natural flood management, and that covers a whole spectrum of different types and features, but effectively it's a very simple way of thinking about it. Is if you stand under a tree when it's raining, you don't get as wet quickly as you do standing in the open. So that tree is providing some sort of natural flood management, i.e. it slows the flow. The water hits it, it takes time to run down through the leaves, the stem, etc. into the ground. The tree is pushing water into the aquifer underneath, it's breaking up that compaction. Woodland soils are very different from typical farmed soils, you could say. And so it's doing multiple different ecosystem benefits just from existing there. We also then might look at things like deadwood or woody features in watercourses and streams. Again, it's something that, you know, for the last sort of few hundred years we've been removing those features from some of our watercourses, and in the right place that's actually appropriate. But actually, as a generally on smaller catchment level, it's probably more important that we have those woody features, that woody debris in those, because they help attenuate or slow that water up. We won't be planting trees across the whole of the site. It's very much targeted approach. It's looking at where they are needed for what purpose, whether it be for natural flood management, whether it would be because the habitat needs supporting, i.e. we might be connecting bits of ancient woodland together. We might be doing things such as hedgerow planting, wetland areas which are not really farmable. We might be looking at wet woodland creation. And also, actually, although we are planting a reasonable amount of the site, around about 40 to 50% with new woods and trees, it's not going to be stock excluded. What we've done is change the model, so we're removing particularly sheep grazing on the site, and we've introduced our herd of ancient cattle onto the site. And over time those will intervene in those woodland areas and extend the grazing season at a very low input, extensive model for a farm system on the site.